What's up, everybody? We are live. We got a good card, man, on Saturday. We got UFC Rochester. We got Kevin Lee versus RDA. Definitely a good fight for the main event. We got a good co-main event. Vicente Luque versus the newcomer Derek Krantz. And joining me is my co-host Kelton. Kelton, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Hopefully we got all the technical issues out of the way before we started this thing, huh? That was looking sketchy for a sec, but I'm feeling great, man. We just came off on an amazing Brazilian pay-per-view, which are always super fun, and now we got a Rochester fight night with Kevin Lee and Rafael dos Anjos as the main event. Should be really, really good fight. There's some interesting debuts, some hot prospects. Let's get it, man. There's a lot of good fights to talk about.
Yeah, man. Before we talk about this week's card, we obviously got to do a little recap. Good card, man. Main event. We got to talk about the main event. Rose is looking really good. That strong first round. I mean, almost tapped Andrade out, dropped her. It could have been a 10-8. And then the second round, she was slowing down. Andrade was, kept on going forward and landed some good shots. And then that slam, man, that was brutal. And Rose probably was concussed, but I mean, she was saying some stuff like, I don't know if she's gonna fight anymore. Little hot take, not a hot take. I'm sure everyone agrees with me, but Andrade can do that to her. Like, what do you think Suarez is gonna do? Like, I still think Suarez would beat Andrade, and I know a lot of people think Andrade would beat Suarez, but Suarez is gonna be the champ, and she's probably gonna hold on the belt for a while. What do you think about that fight?
Geez, I don't know, man. I just want to talk about this fight. Andrade and Rose was really, really awesome. Rose started off, she looked super on point. Arguably got a 10-8 in that first round. Second round started, she was winning that too. And eventually Rose started to grow a little tired. I mean, keeping a beast like Andrade off of you for a certain period of time, that's going to zap some energy for sure. And Andrade was the more physical fighter. She was able to get that slam KO, which is just, I mean, it's amazing, honestly. Like, of course it stung because, we had a bet on Rose. I had Rose in the DraftKings championships when everybody else in my game had Andrade. So that would have just been so huge for me if Rose won there. But it wasn't meant to be, man. We got another Brazilian UFC women's champion, and props to Andrade. That was a good fight. As for her potential future opponents, I see a lot of people talking about Joanna Jędrzejczyk fighting for that strawweight title. Like, I don't know if Joanna Jędrzejczyk is making 115 pounds with those new friends she got inputted on her chest there. I don't know if she's making 115 with those, man. She could barely make 115 with what she had naturally. So I don't know if she's going to be going back to 115. As for Suarez, yeah, I don't think I could pick anybody against Tatiana Suarez. So let's see it. Although Rose, honestly, I will say Rose probably deserves a rematch just because she dethroned Joanna and she gave Joanna a rematch. Now Andrade dethroned Rose and she should give Rose a rematch in the US. That's what I think should happen. So either way though, Suarez, Rose, you can't go wrong either way, man.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about our night. So yeah, I had a pretty good night. I had a plus 5.96 on the night. So my only loss was Rose. It hurt a little bit. Like, obviously I lost 2 units, but like you said, I had Rose on basically all my DraftKings lineups, and I would have won like 2 grand. I would have been first. I would have had the most points I think out of anyone in that contest that Brett did. Honestly, like, I would have been in the 600s. I would have had the most points out of everyone. Would have been the top scorer out of everybody. But I had Rose, and I think I finished with 530, so that's still pretty good. I mean, I think that's like in the top five out of everybody. But um, obviously, it's not a marathon. I mean, there's still a lot more weeks. There's 2 more weeks. But
It's not
yeah,
a
I cashed. No, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I cashed on. I was like, I had in the back of my mind. I'm like, I don't even know if I said that right. But I cashed on Douglas Lima and Bellator. First round, like, I do think he won, but MVP looked, like, his movement looked really good in the second round. I'm like, wow, that was a really good knockout from Douglas Lima. I mean, I parlayed him with Barcelos, and that was beautiful. Barcelos came through, got the finish in the second round. I also parlayed Aldana with Barcelos. And honestly, like, between me and you, it was close, but I do think Aldana was winning every round. And even the judges, all three of the judges in Brazil were scoring those first 2 rounds for Aldana. And I don't the announcers were being so biased. Like, they're like saying that like Betch is like winning, Betch is like landing more. Like, Aldana was winning that fight. Like, I don't know what people are talking about. And then she got that really good submission. Like Aldana like needs to fight someone like big next, like maybe like Macy Chason or like the winner of Aspen Ladd and Eubanks. Like, dude, like she's like good. And so yeah, let me see. And then Volkanovski, obviously. Yeah, I mean Volkanovski went out there and I mean looked good, man. I mean he won every round and he took all that out of his game. And a little hot take for everyone out there. I'm sure people agree with me. Volkanovski will beat Max Holloway when they fight, and I will be betting them there. Volkanovski is a beast, and I like him a lot. So yeah, what about you? How was your night?
I took a slight 2-unit loss. It happens. Sergio Moraes, I had 3 units on him, and Warley Alves, in my opinion, shout out to him because I thought that was the best performance of his career. I mean, he really put it all together. He had the perfect game plan. He exposed his energy proficiently. Like perfect fight fought by that guy. Like he was much more powerful. He was able to punish the leg. Sergio wasn't checking leg kicks. There was a huge athleticism advantage. I mean, props to Warley. I mean, I guess I could say that was a bad bet on Sergio Moraes, but I mean, hey man, at least it's a dog money play. So I don't know about too many regrets, but props to Warley. Rose, obviously that one lost as well. You already talked about that. Just great fight by Andrade. And then Volkanovski, we both cashed there. We both cashed on that Aldana Guida parlay, or Aldana Barcelos parlay. So we actually went 2-1 on our consensus bets this card, putting us at 14 wins, 6 losses. And I also lost on Toledo Bernardo. That was a terrible bet, man. Holy shit. Shout out to Vivi Araujo. That chick is going to be a problem in the strawweight division.
Dude, she helped my
What do you think of her, dude?
Yeah,
I know you took her.
She helped my DraftKings out. I had her in half of my lineups, and I had her in that contest, that big DraftKings contest that Brett created. And yeah, man, she looked good, man. She's big, man, for 115. So I'm excited to see who she fights next. I think that she could definitely be a top 10 girl, maybe even be higher than that. She's gonna have to get someone good next. I don't want her fighting Jag. Okay, people are saying that she should fight Jessica Aguilar. We don't want that fight. Okay, we don't. That's gonna be like minus 600. Like no. Okay, fight like someone like Sarah Froda, or actually she's like at 125. I don't know. Have her fight someone like in the top 15. Maybe like Polyana Patel. Oh, she's never mind. She's 125. Someone at 115. I don't know. I'm thinking about flyweights. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe like if Paige Van Zandt drops to 115, which is not. I don't know. Just a better fight
can't
than
think
Jack.
of too many strawweights. Huh? How about Emily Whitmire?
I think she has a fight booked. Yeah, she's fighting someone. Yeah, I saw it. I think it's some newcomer too. I'm pretty sure I saw it. Yeah. If you go on Tapology, I was looking at that the other day. I forget.
Oh, I'm curious now. She burned me against Albu pretty hard.
Dude, she's been looking pretty good, man. She's a big ass 150. She's fight a strawweight? Yeah, she's huge at 150.
Yeah, she's huge for sure.
Let's see.
She's fighting Amanda Ribas.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Cannonier, I'll say this right here, dude. Cannonier looked good. He's the reason, man, why Anderson Silva broke his knee or whatever. I mean, I don't think he broke his knee, but he got hurt really bad, and a lot of people said he probably tore his ACL, but I think he avoided a pretty significant injury. But Cannonier was looking good. Like his kicks were looking good. He's big for 185. I hope he fights Brunson next because, dude, that's a big ass play for me on Cannonier. Cannonier, I think is going to be a top 10 guy. Literally, there's guys outside the top 10 that I think could beat him, like Heinisch, but I still think that he's good, and I don't think he's ever going to get booted outside the top. Who would you get? Cannonier or Elias? Come on, Cannonier beat Elias. Cannonier could beat a lot. I think some good amount of guys in the top 15.
Yeah, I agree, man. I was kind of disgusting how the crowd booed at him like that afterwards when it's just something that's completely out of his control. It was an old man falling apart in the octagon.
Yeah, did you hear about his story? Apparently he got booted out of the army for smoking marijuana.
What?
Yeah, I heard about that interview. I gotta listen to it, but that's crazy. Yeah. But he trains at MMA Lab with Sugar O'Malley, so I'm not surprised at all. But I think that honestly, I know they train together, but I heard that him and O'Malley are close training partners, which is crazy. A bantamweight with a middleweight, but hey. Gotta do
Yeah,
what you
that's
gotta
funny.
do.
That's like shades of John Dodson and Andre Arlovsky.
Yeah. Star Poli looked good, man. He definitely won every round, in my opinion. Thiago Moises looked good against Kurt Holloway. Warrior Alves, looked, like you said, probably the best Warrior Alves we've ever seen. Ryan Spann against Jourdain. Yeah, Spann impressed me. I mean, he looked really good. But I mean, he beat a guy that's like 80 years old. So I mean, like he should have went out there and done that. Like I picked Nogueira, but honestly, hypothetically, like Spann should have went out there, like he said in the interview after the fight, and like got a big finish. I don't think he's that good. I'm still going to continue to debate him. Anything you want to say before we go
Yeah,
on?
yeah. Props to anyone that was patient all week long on that Ryan Spann line. Like it was minus 200s, I want to say, or something ridiculous like that, and then got bet all the way down to the minus 120, minus 130 range. So if you took that range on Spann, that's super sharp in my opinion. Congrats to you. Clay Guida looked terrible. I can't believe I bet him. Luana Carolina and Priscilla Cachoeira shouldn't be in the UFC. Hayone Barcelos took care of business. Although that guy, Carlos Huachin, he's actually not bad, man. Like, he's got some striking. What do you think of him?
Of who?
The guy Barcelos fought.
Yeah, I thought he was no slouch. I mean, his striking was pretty good. I mean, I was like, Barcelos, get side of the mat. Like, come on, man. Like, you have a really big advantage on there, and you got down there, and I mean, got the finish. But yeah, he's no slouch. I will say that guy will be winning fights in the UFC for sure.
Yeah, he's 22, man.
He's only going to improve. So, are you ready to dive into this card? Because I am.
Dude, I'm more than ready. Let's get it.
All right, man. So, first fight of the night, man, and we got a really good fight here. We got Julio Arce versus Julian Erosa, and yeah, man. I mean, this is definitely, I feel like one of the safest fights in the card, especially for DraftKings. I mean, he's the most expensive, but Julio Arce is, a good fighter. I definitely think that he's right outside the top 15. I think he has great striking, great movement, trains at a really good camp in Tiger Showman. I mean, he's so technical, man. He has good takedown defense. He's a little small for 145, but I think that's like he's gonna be faster than most guys. He has great cardio, like his power. Like I just don't see how Erosa wins this fight. I think Julian Erosa is one of the worst, or could be the worst featherweight on the roster. If he fought Austin Arnett, like who the heck would you pick? Like I'd probably like gun to the head pick Austin Arnett. But yeah, like one thing about Erosa, I'll say like I like his movement. Like he has good movement, but he has no defense at all. Terrible cardio, terrible takedown defense. The Dawson fight, who we'll be talking about later, like yeah, there's a couple sketchy moments, but Dawson still won every round. Dawson still dominated him, and Dawson's not even really a striker. He did it with the takedowns. Arce is like a really good striker. So Erosa has a terrible chin. He's been knocked out like 5 times, 4 or 5 times. I mean, like I said, bad defense, bad cardio. I know he beat Jamal Emmers, which is a good win, but I just don't think Rose's UFC material. So I'm gonna go with Arce with I'm gonna say a second round finish, but he's the most expensive guy on DraftKings. So I mean, if you want to go for him, go for him. But personally, like I don't know, it's. I'm gonna pass, I think, for DraftKings, but he's definitely gonna get a finish. What about you?
Yeah, man, I think that Jamal Emmers fight, I think that was more of a case of Jamal Emmers losing the fight more than it was Julian Erosa winning the fight. Just some bad fight IQ there from the lot more inexperienced guy. But yeah, so on a card of a bunch of minus 500s, a bunch of huge inflated favorites, we got the biggest favorite of them all here, Julio Arce, minus 650. It's pretty steep, rightfully so. I actually got him in a parlay, a 3-leg parlay. It was originally a 3-leg parlay. Fortunately, Vicente Luque, his opponent, Neil Magny, pulled out. So now I just have a 2-leg parlay, 3 units. Arce is the first leg of that, man. And man, what can I say about Julian Erosa? The guy is 1-3 in the UFC. He has a terrible chin. He has questionable grappling. Justin nailed it, man. I mean, the defense isn't there. It's just very ugly, and I think he's going to be outgunned pretty harshly here against Julio. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Not only is Erosa's chin bad. I think it's even worse when he makes that cut down to 145 where it's a little depleted. I think he slows down a lot more when he cuts to 145. I actually prefer him at 155, if anything. I thought he looked a little better when he fought up there. This is a bad one, though. Arce is going to beat him up on the feet pretty bad. And the thing is, if Erosa is able to land one of those shots, because Erosa does have some power to him, and he can crack for sure. I think Arce has that grappling in his back foot he can resort to at almost any time. I think he can take down Erosa at will. So I'm gonna go with the guy that I think is better everywhere. A guy that is more durable, and he's minus 650 for a reason, man. And like you said, he's the most expensive on DraftKings as well. Is he worth the 9,600? I mean, he's probably going to have to get a first round finish or even a second round finish. I actually bet doesn't go to decision in this fight as well, man. I took that at 2 units at plus 135, and now it's up to minus 140. So I kind of sniped that a little bit, and say this fight's favored to not go to decision. So I have all the reason in the world to believe that Julio Arce is probably going to finish this fight. So I'm going to actually pay up for that 9,600 just a little bit. I'm not going to go overexposure because I think there's probably some better plays for just a little bit cheaper. So yeah, he's not my favorite play on the card for DraftKings, but I got Arce definitely for the win here. I'm going to go second round TKO, or I'll say knockdown to submission. So second round submission for Julio Arce. So moving on to the next fight, man. This is another fight I bet, man. And this was actually my first bet of the card because I actually bet it about 3 weeks ago. We got Trevon Giles. He's minus 150 taking on Zack Cummings, plus 130. I've been pretty impressed with Trevon Giles, to be honest, man. I know he hasn't really fought the best competition in the UFC, but I mean, we can see the skills in this guy. He's very athletic. He's got some good boxing. He's a good fighter, man. And I mean, he's got a win over Ryan Spann. We just saw what he just murked Little Nog. He's doing well. Brendan Allen. I mean, this guy's got a track record on him for 11-0. And with these undefeated fighters, you're always worried about that first L. And I mean, it could be the case here against Zack Cummings. I just think there's a huge difference in speed. I think on the feet, Giles is going to give Cummings a lot of problems, man. I think he's going to tag him up bad. I think he's going to land 3-4 shots for every one Cummings lands. And I think Cummings here, he just absolutely desperately has to get it to the mat because he probably does have a BJJ advantage. He's actually got some really good jiu-jitsu. It's just I feel like he's just going to be out strength. Like I feel like he's going to get his takedown stuffed. I feel like in the clinch, Giles is going to be the stronger guy, and I feel like Cummings is going to slow down a little quicker. So I actually like Trevon Giles to go out there and TKO Zack Cummings. I'll say late in the fight. I'll say he gets a third round TKO, man, and I have 2 units on him. I was lucky enough to get plus 130. He's now minus 150, so another line sniped. We'll see what happens, though, man. I definitely think Giles has a future for sure. I mean, you can see the potential. It's just he's definitely early on, so I don't know. It could be a tough fight for him. It's obviously a huge step up, man. I mean, Zack Cummings has been in there with Ponzi. He's been in there with Pereira. He's been in there with Gunny Nelson. I mean, at the current price, minus 150, I'd probably say stay away. But again, I was lucky enough to get that plus 130, so let's get it. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, man. I think, saying that he's in the hand Cummings' his first KO loss, that's pretty bold, man, because Cummings has a really good chin. He gets hit a lot, though, but, I mean, I don't know if Giles is going to be the first person to knock him out. But, yeah, I do think Giles is going to win the fight. I'm high on Giles. I've definitely been liking what I've been seeing from him for a while. The only thing is, he hasn't fought in a year. He was in the police academy. So we'll have to see how much training he was getting. And obviously the 2 guys he's fought in UFC are not UFC material. I know Braga Neto tapped out Anthony Smith. That was a long time ago. Boston is terrible. Definitely not UFC material. And then even Braga Neto took him down a couple of times. But yeah, his defense in the feet was so bad. Like the way Giles hit his jab behind his right hand was impressive. His jab, dude, that might be one of the best jabs I've seen in a while. It's really good. And he's a big middleweight. He's fought at 205 before. He has good grappling, good pressure, good cardio. Athletic. He's definitely faster than Zack Cummings. Cummings is a little on the decline, I think. Obviously against Trevor Smith, I just don't think he looked the best. Like Trevor Smith's a guy that, I mean, yeah, I know Elias like had a close fight with him, but I mean, Trevor Smith's a guy you should knock out. Cummings dropped him a couple times, but it's a close fight, dude. It went to a split decision, I think, right?
Yeah, man, it was a really close fight, and I think that's like proof of the decline in Zack Cummings because I actually thought he looked really good against Prazeres, and then the Smith fight, he looked terrible.
Yeah, like I know Giles hasn't been beating the best guys, but I mean he beat Ryan Spann, he beat Brendan Allen, I'm pretty sure as well, who's a good prospect. I mean Cummings' best win is like Nicholas Dalby. Like all the guys he's been beating are like scrubs. Like Yakovlev, I don't think is that good. Like I know he's got to win, but I don't think he's good at all. Nathan Coy's not even in the UFC anymore. We'll be talking about him later. But yeah, man, guy with Cummings, like he's a tough, it's a tough like blue collar fighter. Like he has a good chin, good left hand. You can take him down. I mean, Prazeres took him down a couple of times. So I think Giles probably has the better wrestling, but I won't be surprised if Cummings takes him down. Like, I mean, Cummings, he has good wrestling too. And I'll say one thing too. I think Cummings has really good BJJ. Like, I think Cummings might have he might have like the better jiu-jitsu, but I think Giles has the better control. So if Giles takes him down, he needs to be aware because, dude, Cummings is a legit black belt on the mat. But I think Giles is the better striker. I think he's more tactical. I think he has a really good chin. Obviously, they both have good chins, but Cummings is getting a little, on the decline for me. And he doesn't throw a lot of volume either, man. So I'm going to go with Giles with a decision win. I think the finish win, is bold, but I wouldn't be surprised, if he got a finish. But I'm going to go with Giles by a pretty dominant decision win. But Zack Cummings is no slouch. Like, he's not a jobber at all. So next fight, we got, speaking of jobbers, we got Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts versus Michel Pereira. Yeah, man, I don't think this Pereira guy is that good. He's being brought in the loose here, I think. A lot of people are saying that he's like the next Johnny Walker. Like, I don't think so. Like, he's fun to watch. Like, he's a fan favorite, but the competition, like, he's been fighting are total stuff. Like, he just fought some fat Japanese guy that's like 4'8" who like probably works at like the nearest like Chinese takeout place. Like, come on, the guy's terrible, man. Like, yeah, it was cool seeing that backflip and stuff, but like try doing it against Hot Chocolate. Like, the funny thing is, like, even the announcer was saying in his last fight, like, imagine like a guy like if this Chinese guy fought long, like he would piece him apart. Like Hot Chocolate fights so long. Like I think Hot Chocolate's gonna pick him apart on the feet. I will say this, like I wasn't like the biggest Hot Chocolate fan, but I have been impressed lately. Like he looked good against Claudio Silva. He was winning that fight, but he just made an error and got tapped out against a guy who was great ground game. Hot Chocolate, his chin like definitely is not the best. He's been KO'd multiple times. He's been hurt in fights, but he's tactical on the feet, man. He has good striking, trains at a good gym at Hard Knocks. He has, he gets taken down, but like he's good off his back. Like he tapped out Nate Coy. He's been tapped out, multiple times. I'm sorry, he's tapped out multiple guys. Good fight with Zawada. I do think he won that fight. But he has power on the feet, and the guy has good cardio. He's a big 70er. Obviously, Pereira is a big guy too, but I just think Danny Hot Chocolate's fought the better guys, and I just don't think Pereira has what it takes to be in the UFC. So I'm going to go with Danny Hot Chocolate with a third-round TKO win. What about you?
Yeah, man, I agree with a lot what you said for sure. And yeah, I mean, you asked the question with this guy, Pereira, also known as the Demolador. What happens when he fights like the high competition? And I mean, we already kind of know, man. I mean, 3 fights ago, he fought a 7-0 Serbian kickboxing champion, and he got absolutely blasted out in the first round. And I mean, even before that, the guy does have a lot of losses. I mean, he's in the UFC because of his flash. I mean, let's be honest, he kind of looks ugly in there. And Danny Roberts, I mean, talk about a guy that's pretty experienced in the UFC now at this point. He's got 20 fights in his MMA career, I believe, like 8-9 fights into the UFC. And I mean, we've already seen how he performs against a guy that probably doesn't belong on the biggest stage in the Oliver Enkamp fight, and how he handled him was, I mean, devastating. He just smoked that kid, and I feel like there's a real possibility he comes out here and smokes the Demolador as well. It's just, I feel like Danny Roberts' chin is such a big liability. He gets hurt a lot. He's been knocked stiff multiple times. I I mean, and we got a flashy guy that's going to throw absolutely everything at him. And, the Demolidor does have power to him. And, I mean, the line is what, a minus 250 right now, somewhere around that range, 245. I mean, me personally, I would not be able to pay a minus 250 range on Danny Roberts against a guy like this just because I'm going to be worried the whole time. Even if Danny Roberts is dominating the guy, he could just get caught at any time. I mean, he can't take a shot. Let's just be honest here. And he's a lot better than this guy, though. So, I mean, in my opinion, from a betting perspective, stay the fuck away. From a DK perspective, play both sides. A little more heavy on Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts, though. He's going to be my pick. It's just the better, more polished striker, man. He's probably going to put this guy away. So, I'm going to go with Danny Roberts, second round TKO. So, moving on to the next fight, man, we got next is Ed Herman and Patrick Cummings. Pat Cummings is a minus 240 favorite. Ed Herman is plus 200. Me and Justin have been kind of joking about this one all week and how Ed Herman is live. He's totally going to knock out Pat Cummings. But, I mean, when you really think about how this fight is going to go, I mean, Pat Cummings just has a lot more left in the tank. He just looks like – Ed Herman just looks like a fossil out there, man. Pat Cummings is – he's going to be faster. He's more athletic. He's got the better wrestling. He's probably just going to be able to power Ed Herman down to the mat. And, I mean, whether Cummings can actually do something with it or not, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's going to finish Herman, man. I think it's just going to be an ugly decision. I think for the most part, he's going to out-wrestle Herman. But there's going to be parts in the fight where Herman stuffs a takedown or two, and he's going to land it might not even look like a big shot, but don't be surprised when Pat Cummings does the chicken dance at one point during this fight. I will go with him, though, so I don't want to talk about this slop fest too much, but I'll go with Pat Cummings, 30-27 unanimous decision. But, I mean, from a DraftKings perspective, you got to go with Herman, man. I mean, if he knocks out Cummings, he's winning somebody $30,000 on Saturday, so I'll take a little bit of him and Pat Cummings, even if he wins. Like I said, I don't think he's finishing the guy. I mean, he might, but I don't see it happening. It's probably going to be a 70, 80-point decision, so I'm good, man. What do you think?
Yeah, this is probably the hardest fight for me to call in the entire card. I've been going back and forth in this fight. I mean, like you said, they're both obviously on the decline. They're both on the way out. They don't have that much. I don't think they both don't have that much in them. But styles make fights, and Pat Cummings has good grappling. Ed Herman can't really stuff the takedown. I mean, he's been in there with CB Dalloway, got taken down multiple times. John Vellante didn't even shoot, but that was a close fight. I do think Herman won that fight, but whenever Herman's been in there with a pretty good wrestler, he's been taken down. I mean, they both have been losing so many fights lately, but like Herman, like I think's like won like a couple fights out of his last 10 or something like that. Like, maybe not that far, but it's been pretty brutal, man, for both these careers. Initially, I wanted to pick Ed Herman. Like, I do think he's live. I think that they both have bad chins, but I think he might be a little more durable than Pat Cummings. But, I mean, Pat Cummings is a pretty tough guy, man. But, like, I don't know. Like who has the better chin on the two? Like, I'd probably say Herman, but I think it's close. I think that Herman probably has more power on the feet. I don't think Cummings has good striking at all, but Cummings is relentless, and Cummings has better cardio, I'll say that, and I think obviously has a better grappling. Ed Herman's not going to tap him out. So I'm going to go with oh, man, I've been going back and forth in this. I'm going to go with my gut, with that, which I said earlier in the week. I'm going to go with Ed Herman, man. I think he's going to go out there and put away Pat Cummings. And I'm still debating if I'm going to have him on DraftKings. But, yeah, I got the dog. I'm not betting him. Don't tail me on this because I'm not betting him. Maybe DraftKings. But I just think that he hits harder, man. I think he's a little more durable of the two. And, I mean, we'll see what happens. This is Flower Knocker, two of the worst guys in the division. So I got Ed Herman by a third-round TKO.
I'm so happy you picked Ed Herman.
You are? Why?
Because I secretly want him to win this fight so bad.
Yeah, I like Pat Cummings. I think he's like a funny guy, but I'm pulling for Ed Herman, man. Like he beat John Vellante, like between me and you. He did. And
to answer your question, he 100% has more power than Pat Cummings. He knocked out Tim Boach, dude.
I think, yeah, man. Like, he's more durable, man. Like, and like, if he stuffs, like, he's gonna win. Like, literally, like, he would have beat CB Dalloway if he would have stuffed because he hurt CB Dalloway multiple times. So I gotta go, man, with that Herman. And like, I'm not, I'm not gonna bet him, man, but I might put him on DraftKings. So next fight, we got a good fight. We got Desmond Green versus Charles Jourdain. Yeah, I mean, just levels the sport. You know, Charles Jourdain, this guy's fought at featherweight. Obviously, Green's fought at featherweight in the past, but Green's gonna be the way bigger fighter. Jourdain's like, you know, obviously, like he's kind of like, what's his name? Who we just bet on, Burial versus Andrew Sanchez. He's the former, you know, featherweight and lightweight champ at TKO in Canada. But you know, he hasn't really fought anybody, in my opinion. He's really flashy. He's wild. You can definitely take this guy down. I mean, Desmond Green, I think, is better everywhere. I mean, he's fought definitely better competition. I think that Desmond Green's striking has improved a lot, training the hard knocks. He's been in a lot of close fights. Like, dude, like I bet him versus Tysonov, and that was a close fight. I know Tysonov won the fight, but tell me that wasn't a close fight. Like, a lot of people are gonna get KO'd against Tysonov. Like Desmond Green, like I think he's good. Like, he has a great chin, a great cardio, good tactical striking, good grappling. I mean, he had a close fight with Michel Praceres as well. He beat Josh Emmett. Like, the guy's no slouch at all, man. So I think Desmond Green's definitely like a top 30 guy. I think he's only going to improve. I think I don't know if he's going to finish Jourdain just because he's not a finisher, but I'm going to go out and say that he gets a pretty dominant decision win. So I got Desmond Green with the 30-27 on all three scorecards. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not going to dig too much further into this one and try to sell you guys on a minus 600. But yeah, Justin nailed it. Des Green is probably better than this guy everywhere. I mean, obviously that wrestling has always been in his back pocket, but it's really his boxing that's come really, really far. And I mean, I know it's a Ross Pearson, but he did look really, really good in that fight. And not a lot of people were expecting him to go out and smash Ross Pearson like that. I believe Des Green to win inside the distance was plus 300. So, I mean, the fact that he was able to go out and do something that people thought he wasn't going to do, I mean, must be a little bit of a sign of improvement. And for sure it is. I mean, his hands are definitely up there, man. I mean, Des Green is he's solid. I don't know if he's ever going to make that top 15, especially in such a Shark Tank like lightweight, but he's going to be a lot of people and hang around in the company for a long, long time. And as for Jourdain, I mean, shit, dude. I mean, he's very outsized in this fight, for sure. I don't know. I just hope they give him a easier fight down at featherweight after this as a thank you for taking a fight against such a killer. So I'm gonna go with Des Green. I'm gonna say he gets it done by decision. Again, with all those highly priced guys, Des Green is definitely gonna be one I'm not going to be taking too much, if any, of DraftKings because the guy's a decisionator. Unless he's fighting Ross Pearson or, I mean, the Gleison Tebow fight, he almost finished Gleison Tebow there. He kind of let Tebow off the hook, but he came close. But again, that's a shot fighter in Tebow. This kid is young and he's actually durable. So Des Green, decision. Moving on to the next, man. We got Mike Trizano, minus 140, taking on Grant Dawson, plus 120. I know you're pretty invested in this fight, man. Why don't you start?
Yeah, man, I like this fight. Like, you know, like I had a really strong lean in this fight, and then after tape, you know, well, so obviously I'll just say so. I had Dawson pre-tape, and then after tape, damn, like it's been a really close fight. I've been going back and forth in this fight. I wanted to bet Dawson really bad, but something's telling me to stay away. Trizano's good. Like, you know, like he has really good tactical striking. Like he's a way better striker here. That's the thing. Dawson's striking is not that good, but the thing is, Dawson has really good grappling. Definitely the better grappling. I mean, Dawson is a really good grappler, really relentless. Trizano's been taken down in all three of his last fight. John Gunther took this guy down, and John Gunther controlled him and won the second round. Like, he even took him down in the first round. On the feet, though, he got picked apart. Like, on the feet, Trizano's going to pick apart Dawson. He couldn't even knock him out. That's the thing. I'm not going to say Dawson's chinny, but he's been knocked out before. Erosa, I mean, could have, you know, I don't think Erosa, like, dropped him, obviously, but he hurt him a little bit, and Dawson gassed out, man, versus Erosa, and Mike Trizano has really good cardio. He definitely has the better cardio, but the thing is, I don't know how his cardio is going to hold up if he gets taken down multiple times. Like, Luis Pena took him down, Joe Giannetti, but it's a close fight just because, like, Trizano's way better on the feet, way more technical, and on the mat, like Dawson is really good relentless grappling, and he has great ground pound too. I don't think either guy's gonna get a finish. I mean, if Trizano wins, I think he can get a finish, but I don't know. I see this fight go to the scorecards, and I wanted to bet Dawson, but I'm going to stay away. But I'm going to pick Dawson. I think he's going to win a close decision, and I think he's going to score good for DraftKings. I think Trizano could even score good as well, even in the loss. But it's a 50-50 fight. If you're feeling Trizano, you got to go for him, because a part of me wants me to like play Trizano on DraftKings too, because I think the winner's going to score good, man. I think if Trizano wins, he's going to score like a lot of points on the feet. Like I think he could definitely put away Dawson. But if Dawson wins, he's going to get like a bunch of takedowns. But the thing is with Trizano too is he has a good get-up game. I know that John Gunther took him down, kind of controlled him, but that was a 55. This is a 45. Gunther's a way bigger fighter than Grant Dawson. But yeah, I do like Trizano's get-up game. So I'm going to go with Grant Dawson with a 29-28 decision. I'm not going to be playing it 100%, but it's a really good fight. Kelton, what do you think?
Man, this is probably the toughest fight on the entire card for me to call. I think you definitely broke it down perfectly, man. I think the entire time this fight is on the feet, it's gonna be trouble for Dawson. Problem is, I think Dawson is gonna be able to implement his wrestling game and take advantage of a hole in Trizano's game, and I think he's probably gonna be able to do that. I think he's gonna take down Trizano and hold him down for parts of the fight, but I don't know. It's sketchy, man. These guys are both very early on in their UFC career. I don't know. I want to go with Dawson here. I mean, I have him in DraftKings already. Made some of my lineups. I just feel with the grappling ceiling, I feel like he's going to be landing a lot of takedowns here, advances. I think he's going to score kind of high, honestly. He could even pick up a sub here on the mat. But yeah, you're right. Trizano could definitely pick up a knockout on the feet, so it's a tough one. There might be some value on doesn't go to decision in this fight. I think it's like plus 140. I think there's definitely a chance both guys could get finished, but I'm gonna pick Grant Dawson here just because I like that odds value. I like the DraftKings value. I like the grappling ceiling, but it truly in my brain is a coin flip fight. And honestly, I mean, my brain kind of is telling me to pick Mike Trizano here, while my heart's telling me and my gut's telling me to pick Dawson. It's I'm gonna go with Dawson, but it's so close, man. Tough fight.
Yeah,
So
I like both
on.
guys. Like that's the thing. Like I like both the guys. Like why would you match up like two prospects like that? I wish they're fighting with the guys, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. So moving on to the next one, we got another huge favorite here. We got Davi Ramos minus 445 taking on Austin Hubbard at plus 355. So this is one of me and Justin's DK picks as well. We like Davi Ramos here. He's only 9,200, man. Not often do you see this minus 500 range at 9,200. I think he's just kind of getting overlooked because there's guys that are actually a higher favorite than him. But dude, I mean, that's all the value in the world, in my opinion. This guy, Austin Hubbard, you know, he's durable. He's got a good chin. He's got good cardio. He's got some decent striking. It's just, boy, he's going to be in big trouble here because Ramos is like a ball of energy on the feet. He's going to be bouncing around. He's probably going to be in and out, busting it up this kid's face. And then, I mean, one takedown and it's probably going to be over. So the minus 500, once again, in my opinion, is it's rightful. I got Davi Ramos here. I'm gonna say late first round rear naked choke.
Yeah, I think we skipped the order. I think the Wad Eubanks fight was next, but we'll just do that next. But yeah, so it's different on Wikipedia and UFC. Like both the orders.
I'm going on best fight odds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because on best fight odds, I think the Magny Anderson fight's like the third to last fight.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, you want to go on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, yeah, I'm back on the matchup. Yeah, man, I do think that this is a pretty good fight. I think Davi Ramos. Actually, you know, real quick, it's different on Wikipedia and UFC.com or on UFC on Google. So Let's just stick to like
It's
one of
different
the
everywhere.
other. Yeah, we'll just do whatever. So, anyways, yeah, Ramos is a good grappler. One of the best grapplers I feel like in the division. I mean, the guy is really good. He's definitely like he needs to get a step up. Like I want to see him fight like Devontae Smith or someone like that's like really like like really good. He's just fighting a lot of guys that like aren't the best. Austin Hubbard, I mean, I kind of like what I saw on the tape. Like, he has good striking. He's a really tough guy. Has a good chin. He, goes for takedowns too, and that's definitely not smart to go against Evan Ramos. He can get taken down too. He got hurt in his fight with Harvey Park, like in the first round. I mean, he got hurt in his last fight in that 5-round war. So I got David Ramos. I think he's a better striker. I think he hits harder. I think he definitely has the way better grappling. And Hubbard's been tapped out before. So I'm going to go with David Ramos with a second round submission. So next fight, let's see. We got
the Lad Eubanks fight now.
Yeah, so we got Sarge Eubanks versus Aspen Ladd, and it's a good fight. The first fight was really close, man, and it was definitely it's a while ago. Like they're definitely two different fighters now, and Aspen Ladd won the fight with the striking. It's kind of funny because we haven't really seen her striking that much in the UFC. Besides, it's kind of sloppy. But Aspen Ladd's a great grappler, a great cardio, great chin, like relentless, big bantamweight. Eubanks is big too, but she's making the move up to 135. So we'll see how she looks. She has a tough cut to 125, so I think this is probably the best move for her. She looked good against Roxy, man. I mean, Roxy reversed her a couple times, but I mean, she like owned her on the feet. She has a good record. I mean, she's beaten a lot of girls, man. She went undefeated on Tough. Destroyed Lauren Murphy actually better there. I think you did too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely more athletic than Aspen Ladd. I think on the feet, like obviously Aspen Ladd beat her. I think obviously beat her with the striking the first time, but I mean the striking's close. I think Eubanks' striking's probably improved a little more. Obviously Eubanks has a really good jiu-jitsu and she's a good grappler, but I mean that's Aspen Ladd's bread and butter, man. So I think this fight's gonna be a little different. I think Aspen Ladd's gonna be able to take her down, kind of like maybe just control her, but she needs to be aware because Sarge has really good jiu-jitsu. On the feet is close, but Aspen Ladd is better cardio. Obviously, Eubanks kind of fades a little bit, and Aspen Ladd's gonna be the bigger girl, but Eubanks is live, man, like for sure. And for her DraftKings price, like, dude, like I feel like this fight could be like a split or like a close fight. It could be like a war. Like both these girls are good. Like Eubanks is not like she's no slouch at all. So I'm gonna go with Aspen Ladd. I think that she's a little more technical on the feet, and I think that she can kind of just grind this one out. But Eubanks is alive 100%, and I think Aspen Ladd is gonna win a very close split decision win. What about you?
Man, I've seen some wild takes on this fight on Twitter. First, I saw someone. Actually, I'm pretty sure I saw multiple people saying that their first fight was one-sided for Aspen Ladd, which I kind of don't understand at all. I thought the only round that was clear for her was the second, and I actually thought the first and the third were like razor close. I mean, the fight ended with Ciara Eubanks. She took her back. Eventually, they scrambled. She got top control. The fight ended with Ciara Eubanks on top. I'm not saying if it was 25 minutes she would have won, but I definitely would have liked to see what would happen. But nevertheless, man, these girls have both improved a shit ton. Both of them have. I think you're right. I think Ciara's striking has improved more than Aspen's has. And then another thing about that first fight, man, I mean, like Aspen was winning the striking exchanges, but like her technique wasn't looking like a lot better than Ciara's. Like she was just spamming these ugly punches, and Ciara just kind of didn't really know what to do about it. If anything, Ciara Eubanks landed the harder, bigger shots on the feet, man, like the head kicks and the spinning back fists and the overhands. Ladd has Aspen Ladd has an incredible chin, though. It's not even just the Eubanks fight where I seen her eat some shots. Like it was other fights too. Dude, Aspen Ladd has a fucking chin on her, which made me even more confident when she was fighting Holly Holm. I'm like, yeah, she's not even going to get knocked out by Holly Holm, dude. She can eat a damn shot. So I definitely see Eubanks not knocking her out. I don't think either girl can knock each other out on the feet. But the other crazy thing I saw on Twitter was people saying that Aspen Ladd is better everywhere, which I mean, I guess you can make arguments for the striking and the actual wrestling, the clinch work. But pure BJJ, dude, like Sierra Eubanks is very high level. I mean, she's world class. She's competed at world champions. She's a high level black belt in BJJ. And not only that, she trains with a great group out there with Mark Henry and Frankie Edgar and Marlon and Edson. Like, I mean, she's out there training with the best, dude. She's getting real good work in with dudes. I mean, I know Aspen Ladd is too. Aspen Ladd is she's with a good group as well, but I don't know, man. This line is, I mean, it's pretty fucking nuts if you ask me. I mean, even if you were to just go off looking at the first fight, I mean, did Aspen Ladd look like a minus 300 in that fight? I definitely don't think so. Did Aspen Ladd improve a lot more than Sierra Eubanks has? I mean, I don't think incredibly. I mean, if you think Aspen Ladd's about to go out there and do what she did to the old ladies like Tanya Evinger, she's not about to go out there and thrash Sierra and, I mean, ground and pound her to death. Like, it's not going to happen, man. If she tries to throw that ultra aggressive ground and pound on Sierra, she's going to get caught with a sub. Not only that, man, I mean, most of the time when two grapplers fight, it's neutralized and it stays standing. And a lot of that fight did stay standing. So, I mean, I think it could be a really close 15 minutes of striking as well. I mean, fact of the matter is, I think this line's very off. I could see it being very close. I think there's a lot of value on Sierra Eubanks. I might take a little 1 unit shot. I'm a little undecided, but for DraftKings, I'm definitely going to take a few lineups. So I'm not. Oh man, this is making me want to pick Sierra Eubanks now, but I'm not sure. I may change my pick, but as of right now, I will officially pick Aspen Ladd by 29-28 split decision. I'll go with her because I think she wins at least 5-6 times out of 10, but it's close, man. It's close.
Yeah, it's close, man.
Moving on to the next fight.
Next fight's the big one, man.
The big one. Is it Megan and Felicia? All right. So
Yeah.
we got oh man, I'm looking forward to breaking down this one. We got Megan Anderson. She is a minus 165 favorite now, taking on Felicia Spencer plus 145. So I mean, definitely the most line movement out of any fight on this card as well. Megan Anderson, she's actually back where she opened, man. She opened a minus 165 favorite. A lot of money came straight in on Felicia, bet Felicia up all the way to like a minus 145 favorite. Megan was a plus 115 dog. And now it's come back down to Megan Anderson right back where she opened up. I'm expecting even more line movement. I think now that Felicia is at a real solid price of 145, I think we're going to see a lot of action coming on her. I think this fight's going to end up closing pick'em by fight day. That's just my opinion of where the line's going to go. But as for this fight, man, Megan Anderson has some glaring holes in her takedown defense, in her get-up game, in her grappling altogether, man. It's really bad. Like the Holly Holm. Okay, so actually, I'll start in chronological order. We could start with Cindy Danois back in Invicta because I mean it wasn't that long ago. I mean it was only a couple of years ago. It wasn't that long ago, man. It was Megan's first real big step up. She had only beaten girls with, I mean, not even positive records, 1-2, 0-0, 1-1, and she fought a BJJ black belt who was also similar to Felicia Spencer. She is a 5'6", 5'7" BJJ black belt, similar style, and she was embarrassed. She was finished in the second round there. Then she went on a run where she beat jobbers like Amber Leibrock, Amanda Bell, Peggy Morgan, Charmaine Tweet. I mean, dude, that's Soccer Mom Central right there. That's quite the list. That's quite the lineup of Invicta jobbers right there. I mean, they really hooked this Megan girl up. I mean, the connections she had, and props to her, man. I mean, she is athletic. She's a very good striker. But I mean, then she got to the UFC. They matched her up against Holly Holm, which that was a really interesting one, man, because Holly Holm is, I mean, she's not even a featherweight. She's a bantamweight, and I bet Holly Holm they're huge. I put like 6 units, 7 units on Holly Holm there just because I thought there was such a huge discrepancy in the striking. I thought Holly was just going to be able to go around and expose this girl's striking defense and just be the way more technical boxer. And it was kind of looking like that, but there was just a problem of it was a 135 pounder versus a 145 pounder. So Megan's power was a huge factor there. And she turned Holly Holm into a wrestler, dude. And I mean, what happened? Holly Holm did something we have never seen her do against anybody else in her entire career. I mean, she went out there and D1'd Megan Anderson. She took her down at will. She held her down at will. I mean, she did exactly what she needed to do. Props to Holly Holm. She's a former world champion and has fight IQ and trains at a great gym and everything. But I mean, that's bad to get taken down there by a 135-pound kickboxer and not know what the hell to do. And speaking of not knowing what the hell to do, when Holly Holm took her down, I mean, she had that look in her eyes like, holy shit, I did it. I got her down. What do I do now? I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, this girl, Felicia Spencer, she's going to get Megan Anderson down, and she's going to know exactly what to do, man, because Felicia Spencer is, I mean, she's a very high-level BJJ girl as well, competed in the Abu Dhabis at the black belt level, which if you guys don't know how hard that it is to even get out there in the Abu Dhabis, I mean, competing there at a black belt level, that's another thing. And, she didn't place or anything, but just the fact that she's been training in BJJ since she was a kid, she's gone and competed at that level. She just comes off way more as like she has more of a fighting spirit than Megan. She's a lifelong combat arts athlete, man. I mean, she's always been competing, and Megan, I feel like she comes off as an Instagram model, bro. I mean, sometimes I just feel like she's more worried about her poses and photographs online than she is in working on her takedown defense and get up game. And what's crazy is the amount of people on here saying, oh, dude, you can totally expect improvements from Megan. I mean, look at the improvements in her striking from her Invicta days to her striking against Holly Holm. Like, okay, firstly, there was a huge power difference there. That was a 135 pounder. And secondly, with the whole grappling thing, did she improve her grappling after the Cindy Dandois fight? No. I mean, if anything, it looked a little worse, man. I mean, it's just really bad. And back to Felicia Spencer, she's had a really good Invicta career, man. I mean, became the champion over there, finished 4 out of 6 of her fights. She beat Pam Sorensen, who, I mean, she's not a world beater by any means, but I mean, she's ranked top 10 in the world women's featherweights rankings, and she's got some decent wins in her own. I mean, that's not I mean, Pam Sorensen, in my opinion, is better than any win Megan Anderson has. And if you want to say Kat Zingano is a win, that's not a win, man. That's a toenail to the eye, fluke of the century. I feel so bad for anybody that Kat Zingano there. You got absolutely robbed. Just a fluke that is never probably going to happen again for another 10 years. So that's not a win. And another thing with Felicia Spencer, she's gone in there with a 6-foot striker before. She's actually beaten Macy Chiasen. I know it was in the amateurs, but the fact that she's been in there with a girl who, I mean, have you all seen how good Macy Chiasen looks in the UFC? Felicia Spencer was able to go out there, implement her grappling game, take her down, hold her down, do her thing, and that's what she's going to do here, man. She's going to expose, once again, the extreme weakness to Megan Anderson's game, and she's probably going to hold her down, and then I'm going to say she submits her late, man. I feel like she has the capabilities to eventually take that back after Megan gets frustrated after a little while. So I'll say 3rd round rear naked choke for Felicia Spencer, and I'm out of breath, man. Take it away.
Yeah, you basically said everything, man. That was good. Team Bro Picks, man. We both have a bet on this fight, and I have 3 units, man, on Spencer, man. We kind of messed up the line, but I got 2 units at plus 135, and then 1 unit plus 105, which is kind of funny. But yeah, we bet it pretty far out. And Megan Anderson, man, like Megan Anderson, she's a good striker. I will say that. She's big. Like, she's definitely a really big featherweight. Fights long, but a glaring hole that I've seen, man, is that her takedown defense and ground game is just not that good. She's been taken down a lot, man. Holly Holm, she's a bantamweight. She took her down multiple times, and Felicia Spencer's, man, has good grappling, man. I definitely think she has better grappling, and she's a strong girl, man, for 45. She's really short, and a lot of people think she's like super small and like fat, but I don't think so at all, man. I mean, she's like built like a tank. She has good cardio. She's aggressive. One thing I like about her, she's relentless. She goes for the takedown. She doesn't waste that much time on the feet. not like she has bad striking. Striking's improved, but obviously Megan Anderson's a better striker. But I just don't see how people are so confident in Megan Anderson here. Like, Spencer's an undefeated prospect. She's won all of her fights. She's looked really good in all of her fights. She's taken down, like, every opponent. And in my opinion, her win last fight against Pam Sorensen, yeah, it was, it was a good fight, back and forth, 4-round fight, but she still won, like, every round, in my opinion. That win is better than any win that Megan Anderson's ever beaten. I mean, all the girls that Megan's been beating, like, come on, man. Like, I know Spencer hasn't been beating the best girls either, but that Pam Sorensen win is better than any win. And don't sit here and say that she beat Kat Zingano. That wasn't a win. And Kat Zingano didn't even shoot. Like, that was like, I don't know. Spencer's going to shoot immediately, man, and she's going to get the takedown. So, I agree. I think that she could definitely get a submission win. I wouldn't be surprised, but I just think she's going to take her down for 3 rounds, man, and win a 30-27 decision. So I'm going to go with Spencer, man, with the upset, and I think this girl could definitely win a lot of fights in the UFC. I'm anxious to see if she, takes a year off and maybe goes to 135, but we'll see. But Megan Anderson, good striker, takedown defensive ground game, just non-existent, man. So I got to go with the grappler here. So next
one more thing, Justin. I forgot to bring up one of my biggest points, man. Megan Anderson's striking game is heavily reliant on her kicks. I feel like that plays perfectly into Felicia Spencer's game. I've seen her catch kicks before and drive people down to the mat, and I think that's probably exactly what's going to happen here. And if Megan decides not to be so heavy on those kicks and rely more on her pure boxing, I actually don't think her hands are that good, dude, and especially the defense. It lacks a lot, so I'm not going to say Felicia Spencer is going to outstrike Megan Anderson because she's not. Megan will win the striking exchanges, but do not be surprised when Felicia Spencer lands some heavy overhands, which leads to the takedown. So I think that is a key point here as well, that the kicking of Megan Anderson is going to be kind of taken away.
Yeah, man. So we did mess up the bout order, but I mean, shit happens. So next fight we got Charles DaBbronx versus Nick Lentz. This is the 3rd fight. It's a good fight. I was wrong on Charles Oliveira. I faded him last fight versus Tamer, and I mean, he looked really good against Tamer. I know he got dropped, but he beat Tamer's ass, man. He's definitely improved a lot. Like, the guy's on a good win streak. I mean, his grappling is really good, but the thing is, his striking is improved. Like, he's relentless on the feet. His pressure, breaks guys, man. I mean, his cardio, has been an issue in the past, but this guy keeps on going forward. He needs to stay at 155. I think he's obviously, a lot faster than a lot of these guys at 55. And I think he's better everywhere, man. Nick Lentz is definitely no slouch. He impressed me last fight. But like we mentioned off air, Nick Lentz is kind of on the decline, where Charles DaBbronx is, in the best, form I think he's ever been in. Obviously, what worries me with DaBbronx is, I think he's ranked in the top 15. Obviously, he could always just not show up. He has a chin issue. I mean, he does gas. He's quit in multiple fights, but I mean, lately, he's definitely looked really good, man, against some good guys. So, Nick Lentz, I feel like, is guillotine or bust. He has a really good guillotine, but I don't think he's going to tap out DaBbronx. Obviously, DaBbronx has been tapped out, but I don't think it's going to happen here. Nick Lentz needs to go out there and brawl with him, which, I mean, happened in the last fight. It was a really good fight. But I think DaBbronx is more technical. I think he has better striking. I think he has a better ground game. And I think he has more left in the tank. So I'm going to go with DaBbronx with a finish. But something's telling me that Nick Lentz, has a small chance to win this fight. What about you?
We got the trilogy fight, man. I wish I would have gone and looked before to seeing actually how many trilogy fights happen in the UFC, because I'm going to guess it's probably not that many. Probably it might even be less than 10, man. At least less than 15, but yeah, it's interesting. So the first fight they had was at 155 pounds. Then the second one was at 145 pounds. And full circle, they're back here at 155 pounds, where, in my opinion, I think they both look best at 155. I like seeing that here. I think it's going to lead to both guys being more durable in this fight, which is going to be really fun if for as long as it stays on the feet. I think these guys are just going to whack each other with absolutely everything on the feet. But like Justin mentioned, I think Lentz is on a little bit of a decline. He's getting a little older and slower, to whereas this is the best version of DaBbronx we've ever seen. His striking is looking the best it's ever seen. So I actually think he's definitely going to have an edge here on the feet as well. I think he's probably going to land 2-3 shots for every one Lentz lands. I think he has more tools in the feet as well with the kicks and the Muay Thai knees, elbows. DaBbronx is the man. Like, I think in a few years we might even look at DaBbronx in kind of like the same way we look at Cerrone, to where the guy has so many UFC wins, so many bonuses, so many finishes. Like, DaBbronx is, I don't want to say he's the Brazilian Donald Cowboy Cerrone, but I mean, the truth and a fact is, by the time DaBbronx's career is over, his name is going to be all over the record books, man. He's a beast, and he's a super, super slick BJJ guy, and he's probably going to end up tapping Lentz here at one point. I'm going to say second or third round. I'll say third. I want to see a war as long as it lasts. I'll say third round. I'll say DaBbronx guillotines the guillotine master and Lentz. DaBbronx third round guillotine. It's going to be a great fight, man. And DaBbronx also caps off that 2-leg parlay for me. So I got 3 units on DaBbronx parlayed with Arce at about -180 odds. So yeah, it's going to be a good one, man. So moving on to the next fight, is it Heinisch?
Yes, it is.
Oh boy. So we got Ian Heinisch +160 taking on Antonio Carlos Jr. -185. You want to start on this one?
Yeah, man. So we got Team Bro picks again. I believe we're 14-6, right?
14-6.
14-6, soon to be 16-6. And yeah, man, we both bet Heinisch. I love Heinisch, man. I bet him at +175, 3 units, and I'm really high on the guy. I think he's a good fighter. I kind of sucks what happened with the Tom Breeze fight, because he was in an absolutely smoked Tom Breeze. But just different matchup here. You know, Carlos Jr., great grappler. You know, striking's improved for sure. His gas tank, I don't think is that good. I really don't. Let's talk about all the guys he's beaten. You know, let's talk about the Vettori fight real quick. Vettori had him in some serious trouble, man. I mean, Vettori like almost put him away in that second round. You know, Carlos Jr. won the first and third round. That was a really close fight, but Vettori's kind of a green fighter. Heinisch is a way better fighter than Vettori, in my opinion. But yeah, he's beaten guys like Jack Marshman, Eric Spicely, Tim Boge. Like, all these guys, they're not that good, man. I mean, Tim Boge is done, in my opinion. Marshman's done, in my opinion. Eric Spicely doesn't even fight in the UFC anymore, man. I mean, he's going out, he's losing the guys that aren't even, he's beating guys that aren't even that good. The Dan Kelly fight, like, come on, that's kind of pretty embarrassing, in my opinion. He has improved, though, for sure. Like, I'm not disrespecting his ground game. The guy has a really good ground game. He has a better ground game, for sure. But a guy like Heinisch, you saw his fight versus Matanti. Like, he looked really good on the mat. Like, this guy can hang on the mat. He even took down Matanti. He reversed him. He almost tapped him out twice. I don't think Heinisch is going to go out there and try to take him down. I mean, I doubt it's going to happen. But if he gets taken down, it's not like, okay, it's over, like how it was with other fights that Carl Jr. fought. Like, he could definitely get back up, man. He could definitely, you know, could even sweep, or I think he's going to get back up. Even if he tries to sweep and he reverses him, he's going to get back up. But if he gets on top, I mean, his ground game, man, I mean, his ground game, his top game is, like, really good. You saw those elbows he hit on Contender Series. But on the feet, I think Heinisch is the better striker, man. He has better movement. His cardio is really good. I can see him breaking a guy like Carlos Jr. who's broken before. Really durable. Carlos Jr., I'm not going to say he's shinny by any means, but he is. His cardio, man, is definitely a question mark. And a guy like Heinisch trains the elevation, you know, trains the Factory X. His overhand right, the way he fakes the takedown and throws overhand right, his movement, his pressure, man. Like, Heinisch is a bully in there, man. And I see him knocking out Carlos Jr. I really do, man. I won't even be surprised at all if he drops him and goes right on top and pounds him out, man. So I'm just one of those guys that, like, his ground game, man, is I feel like is good enough to hang with Carlos Jr. if Carlos Jr. takes him down. So I'm gonna go with Ian Heinisch with a second round KO, and Carlos Jr. will be back. But I mean, the layoff, Heinisch is getting better every fight. I mean, Heinisch is a really big middleweight too. So Carlos Jr. is as well, but there's levels on the feet, man. I think Heinisch is the better striker, man. I don't even think it comes close. I really don't. So on the mat, though, I'm giving the edge to Carlos Jr., but it's not like he's going to go out there and take him down, take his back, and choke him out. Like, the Marcus Perez submission loss, that was a low percentage sub that he got, like, off his back. That was like a weird-ass, like, Darce choke or whatever. Ian Heinisch can hang on the mat, man. So, like, I don't think we're going to be sweating that much if it's the mat. He could definitely wind up on top or get back up. So I got Ian Heinisch with the KO. What about you?
Man, I'm a huge fan of Ian Heinisch, not even just as a fighter. His story, dude, like, I don't know if you know all of it,
Yeah, I know.
but I know, yeah, dude, all that time, you know, he got in some trouble here in the U.S. For people, this is for people that don't know. He got some trouble here in the U.S. He took a flight over to Europe, spent some time in Spain, then eventually got himself into some trouble in Spain, spent some time in prison in Spain, like became like the head wrestling coach of the Spain prison, like some crazy shit. Like he was the head coach at a bunch of wrestling prisoners, like just crazy badass shit like that. And then he came back over to the US. He was arrested on spot. Spent some time in Rikers Island. If you don't know about Rikers Island, dude, I mean, that's one of the toughest prisons to be at. Let's just put it that way. I mean, so the dude has been through some shit. He's obviously extremely mentally tough to get through all that and to be at the point where he is. Not only that, just mental toughness outside of the cage, inside of the cage, to take a short notice fight against a guy in Cesar Fajea, Mutanch. I mean, what can I say about Mutanch? Firstly, in my opinion, Mutanch is a top 20, maybe even top 15 middleweight guy. I mean, he's serious. Incredibly good jiu-jitsu. I mean, wins over Carl Roberson, Jack Hermanson, Anthony Smith. I mean, Thiago Santos, Maheda. I mean, dude, Cesar Fajea has a fucking hell of a record with some names on it. And Heinisch came in there short notice. I mean, I thought he looked amazing. Won clearly. Didn't you bet him there?
Yeah, I bet him versus Matante. And it was, dude,
yeah,
I mean,
man.
it's funny
so
because
sharp.
It's funny because Matante took him down about 4 times, but I mean, like, did he even control him? Like, he got right back up and he even swept him. A guy like a legit black belt like Matante, man. He won every round, Heinisch.
Yeah, man. And I mean, obviously, I think Antonio Carlos Jr. is maybe even a little bit even higher step BJJ than Mutanch is, but
Yeah,
I mean, ACJ is like serious, like world champion. Like I was talking earlier about Felicia Spencer competing in the Abu Dhabis. Antonio Carlos Jr. is the kind of guy to go out there and run through absolutely everybody. He's that kind of world class. But I mean, in my opinion, we've already seen Heinisch against world class BJJ, and he fared absolutely well. So, I mean, I think Matt, it's definitely going to get hairy. He's probably going to get put in some bad positions, but I think the further the fight goes along, I think he has the better cardio. I think he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns later in the fight, and I think he's either going to win rounds 2 and 3 on the scorecards, or he's going to KO Antonio Carlos Jr. shoe face in the second or third round. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen Antonio Carlos Jr. knocked out late after dominating. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to dominate this fight and then get knocked out later. I think it's going to be an extremely close fight and he's going to get knocked out later. But, geez, man. This line is just absolutely crazy. Let's just put it this way. One guy got knocked out by Dan Kelly. The other guy spent time in Rikers Island. I'm going to go with the plus 175. Well, I actually got 2 units at plus 175 and 1 unit at plus 185. So I got 3 units on Heinisch around plus 178 odds average. So yeah, let's fucking get it, man. I think Heinisch is way tougher. I think he knocks out Carlos Jr. in the 3rd round. Anything you want to add?
Nah, man. We covered everything.
We got the co-main event now, the newly made co-main event.
Yeah, man.
So there's no odds, or is there odds? I don't see any.
Not yet.
We got Vicente Luque. I'm gonna take a wild shot in the dark and say he's going to open up a I'll say minus 505. If that sounds about right. I'll say, and then he's probably gonna end up getting steamed to minus 700-ish. He'll probably end up in the 700s with Arce.
I got like minus 265 versus Jalen Turner. Is that crazy or what?
That is very crazy. You sniped that quick because it was minus 450, like literally probably less than an hour after you did that.
But I mean, we're not getting minus 265 on Luque versus Krantz. I'll tell you that right.
Well, I think at the time, Jalen Turner was I mean, he was kind of more highly regarded than Derek Krantz is now. Like, I know Krantz, like, so yeah, to break down this fight, Derek Krantz, he's like, he's super experienced. He's paid his dues on the regional scene. He's been in there with a who's who, man. He's fought a lot of good guys. I mean, it just seems like anytime he really takes a step up, he loses. I mean, I don't want to disrespect the guy because I do have a lot of respect for him, but I mean, calling it as it is, he's kind of a journeyman. Now, I will give him this, though. He's a journeyman in the prime of his career, and he's actually on a really good run right now with, I think he's on, I don't have it pulled up, but I believe he's on a nice win streak, and even the James Nakashima fight, I believe he was on another streak before that. So I want to say he's won like 9 out of his last 10 or something like that, but I could be wrong. But pretty good streak for Krantz there. He's got good striking. He's got good cardio. I'm just kind of surprised. I'll be shocked if he makes 170 pounds on a few days' notice. I know he was supposed to fight in Contender Series, but I'm pretty sure, when does Contender Series start? Isn't that like weeks out still?
It's coming up, I think. I think June. I'm pretty sure.
Either way, I don't even think he was on like the first or second week. I believe his fight was still like a month out. So, I mean, if he can come in here and make 170 pounds this quick, I mean, props to him. I think he's a pretty big guy for the division. I thought it was going to be a 155 pounder to step up, but hey, props to Krantz. He cashed his ticket into the UFC, and just like Charles Jourdain, I hope that he is rewarded with a much easier fight after this, because, geez, stepping in against a killer in Luque, we know all about his power, that left hand, and we know about that jiu-jitsu as well. I mean, one of the most underrated, choke games in the UFC. I mean, he's nasty with those things. I'll never forget when he put Hader Hassan to sleep with the Anaconda in Orlando, and Hader was twitching all over the mat, and I was just like staring like, holy shit, is he okay? Like, scary shit. Luque's a murderer, man. He is a assassin. And Krantz is probably going to be a plus 500 dog for a good reason here. He's probably going to get ran through, but like I said, give him a cupcake as a reward for taking this fight. I'll say Luque late first round sub. Krantz has been subbed a lot.
Yeah, give him like Mickey Gallnesh, something like that. But anyways, I mean, if you know the channel, you know us, you know that we're high on Vicente Luque. I'm really high on Vicente Luque. I think he's gonna be a top 5 guy. I thought he was gonna absolutely starch Neil Magny. And between me and you, I think Krantz is actually a better fighter than Neil Magny, I think, right now, man. I really do. I mean, Magny just has not been looking good. He's on the decline. He's on the way out. Krantz has won like 8 of his last 10 fights. Had a really close fight with Nakashima, who's one of the best prospects outside of the UFC. Krantz is a brawler, man. He's a tough guy. We'll say that. I don't think Luque's going to knock him out. He's been tapped out 5 times, okay? He's been knocked out twice. He has a good chin for sure, but I think what's going to happen is that Luque's going to hurt him, man, with the straight left and drop him, and then he's going to tap him out. Luque, man, he's good everywhere. He's definitely way better everywhere the fight goes. He's better than Magny everywhere as well. Saw his last fight, Barberina. I mean, that was a crazy fight, and he dug deep, man. Finished him in the 3rd round. Barberina has such a strong head. Like, he just couldn't hurt him in the head. He went to the body and, finished him. His striking, man, his movement, he's so fast on the feet. His straight left, his right hand, like, his grappling, man. He has a good chin. Like, he's good everywhere, Vicente Luque. Like, heavy hands, man. He's so fast. He's so technical sound. And his grappling, man, his darts, like, his Anaconda chokes are so good. So I think he's going to go out there and hurt him on the feet. And he's going to get a submission. I think he's going to get a first, second round submission win. So next fight, we got the main event, man. We got Kevin Lee versus RDA. And I will be playing Kevin Lee. I'm waiting until he hits plus money. And I like Kevin Lee here, man. I think that good wrestlers, man, give RDA problems. And I do think that RDA is on a decline, man, for sure. I know he's on a 2-fight losing streak against 2 of the best fighters in the division, but you know what they have in common, Usman and Colby? They're really good wrestlers. You know what Kevin Lee is? A really good wrestler. I think Kevin Lee making the move to 170 is the best decision he's ever made. I think he's going to be a lot better at 170. I think his gat tank's going to be better. I think his chin's going to be better. The fight with Iaquinta, like I've rewatched it multiple times. I just watched it again the other day. I think he could have won that fight if he even went for a takedown in the 4th and 5th round, which he didn't. He just fell in love with the striking, man. I mean, he hurt Barbosa on the feet multiple times. He looked so good in that Barbosa fight. Hurt him, beat him on the feet. Obviously, took him down multiple times, and then against Iaquinta, he had his back, multiple times. I mean, he was winning the fight. I feel like, after the 3rd round, 2-1, and then just gave it up. Didn't even go for takedowns, and the pressure just, Iaquinta just kept on going forward and threw more, and Iaquinta was a better man that night. But I think, Kevin Lee going 170, man, I think it's only going to help him. I think he can definitely take down RDA. I think he can definitely take him down at will here, in my opinion. I don't think RDA is going to be able to take him down on the feet. I think RDA is a better striker. I think he's more technical. I think, he probably has the better chin, but I don't think Kevin Lee has the worst chin. I think he's really tough. That's one thing Kevin Lee, he's been knocked out before, but he's tough, man. I mean, he took a huge shot against Barbosa, man. And Barbosa's an idiot. That was a terrible fight IQ, but he kept on going forward and he took him down, man. So Kevin Lee's chin don't even be better at 170. He hits hard, though, man. His right hand, his striking is definitely improved. I just think he's going to have that relentless, taking him down at will. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I'm going to do it. I think Kevin Lee is going to finish RDA. I don't think he's going to tap him out, but I think he's going to get on top, man, in the 3rd or 4th round, and he's going to land some heavy ground pound. And Kevin Lee's going to make a statement, man. Kevin Lee is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with the 170. You got to watch out for this guy, man. So I got Kevin Lee with the relentless wrestling and taking down RDA at will. What about you?
Man, this is another extremely difficult fight for me to call. Personally, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you, though. I'm going to go with Rafael Dos Anjos in this fight, man. And some money has been coming out on Dos Anjos as well. I know Kevin Lee was like a minus 160. He was like a minus 160 at one point, man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Dos Anjos is looking he's about to be a minus 120, minus 130 favorite, and I think the money coming out on him is rightful. He's done a lot more in the sport, man. I mean, huge wins. I mean, blasted through Donald Cerrone. I just mentioned that card. I was there. That was amazing. That main event just ran through Cerrone in 60 seconds. I mean, the guy's been there, done that. He's got extremely good Muay Thai. Obviously, the BJJ is there. It's just the biggest advantage in this fight for either guy is, I mean, it probably is Kevin Lee's wrestling, man. I mean, we have seen Dos Anjos. I mean, that's the way he's been losing. That's the way he has lost a few times. But, I mean, when you look at him, man, he's getting out-wrestled by Khabib Nurmagomedov, Kamaru Usman, and Colby Covington. And I just think those guys are, like, literally the 3 best wrestlers in the UFC. And, Kevin Lee's a really good wrestler. He's gone out and won a shit ton of fights. He's got a really impressive UFC record as well, but I just don't think he's quite at that level as those guys. And I think if people think that Kevin Lee's about to make it look as easy as those guys did against RDA, I think you have another thing coming. I think RDA is going to present a lot of problems, man. I mean, if Kevin Lee can't get this fight down to the mat, like if he gets some takedowns stuffed, dude, he's going to be in big trouble on the feet, especially if he's getting those takedowns stuffed and he gets a little more tired. Like, if he slows down before RDA does, RDA is going to just pick him apart and TKO him late for sure. Even on the mat, man, I feel like a lot of the guys that Kevin Lee has taken down and out-wrestled, they're kind of fish off their back and you can't really do much. RDA, on the other hand, I mean, he's good defensively on the mat when he's in bad positions. He doesn't panic. He doesn't do the wrong things. I mean, he does the right things to get back up and or sweep, get into a position of his own. And, I mean, I think technically speaking, he's more technical on the mat and he's more technical on the feet. It's just, is Kevin Lee too young, athletic, powerful? Can he fight the perfect fight for 25 minutes? And, I mean, he sure as hell can for sure. I mean, it's a close fight. I just lean RDA to probably get taken down at first, but I just think eventually he's going to make Kevin Lee work. I mean, Kevin Lee is going to have to work hard for those takedowns, man. I mean, they're just not going to come easy. He's going to have to set him up with strikes. I mean, he's going to take some shots in this fight too, man. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen Kevin Lee knocked out by a BJJ guy as well. I mean, it happens. I mean, the guy is a little chinny. We've seen him hurt before a lot. The Efrain Escudero fight. I mean, I know this is years ago, but I mean, we've seen some holes in Kevin Lee's durability for sure, and I think RDA could. I mean, if RDA lands a big punch, he can put away anybody. I mean, the guy's got rock hard power, so it's a tough one. But I'm gonna go with RDA. I will say 4th round TKO, but it's a close fight, man. It's a close fight. If you beat Lee, or if you bet Lee, I'll be rooting for you.
Thanks, man. I think Kevin Lee's chin actually like has improved. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah, and it should look better at 170.
No, but it's improved too. Like you watched his fights, Quinta didn't knock him out. Like his chin held up. He didn't even get dropped once. He got hurt, but look at the Barbosa fight, man. Barbosa hurt him so bad. Like he was doing the chicken dance, and he went for the takedown, got him down. He dropped Tony Ferguson. Like Kevin Lee, man. Like I've been impressed with the guy. Like I don't think it's gonna be tough for him to be a guy like Usman at 170, but I think the move to 170 is smart. I think he's going to be a top 10 guy, and I think he could definitely win a lot of fights, man. And if he fought Usman in the future, that'd be like in a couple of years, that'd be really interesting. But as right now, obviously, I go Usman. But I think Kevin Lee, man, is a force to be reckoned with, and I think he's going to make a statement and get a finish on Saturday. So a little recap. But
I haven't bet Kevin Lee in so long. The last time I bet Kevin Lee, and the only time, was the Jake Matthews fight way back in the day. I got plus money on him against Matthews, and he smoked Flake.
Yeah, he did. He smoked Flake. I love calling him Flake. Yeah, Flake Matthews is a joke, but he's not a joke. He's a Flake. So yeah, Kevin Lee, man, I bet him versus Barbosa. That was and I bet him in the distance versus Barbosa. So I was sweating because he does a doctor stoppage in the 5th round. But yeah, so a little recap from my bets and our bets. I have 2 plays so far: 3 units on Heinisch and 3 units on Spencer. I will be betting Kevin Lee. I mean, I really want plus money. I'm going to wait for plus money, but we'll see if he hits plus money. And what about you?
Yeah, man, I got 4 units on the underdog, Felicia Spencer, Team Bro Picks, and then 3 units on Heinisch, plus 175, plus 185, Team Bro Picks. I sniped Trevon Giles, got 2 units at plus 130. I have 3 units on a parlay of Arce and DaBbronx at about minus 180. And then I have 2 units on the Julio Arce Julian Erosa fight. Doesn't go to decision at plus 135. If I do add one more bet, it's just going to be a 1 unit shot on CR Eubanks, but we'll see what happens.
If I make one more bet, it's probably going to be on Giles. But I mean, I want plus money, but he's not going to hit plus money probably. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I want to bet him on Giles. But yeah, so I'll do it. We'll have a 2-week break. I think what we're going to do is we'll do a recap maybe on your channel next week, talking about this card, just talking about any like fights in general and stuff. You want to do that?
Yeah, man. We'll see.
All right, guys. So we'll be back, and let us know in the comments below what you guys got, and I hope you guys cash. Later, guys.
Thanks, guys.